everybody, it's the Lawn Gnome and welcome back to another Funko Pop update. If you are new to my channel, let me just say welcome, it's a pleasure to have you, and for all of you returning, I'm hoping that you're excited for some Funko news as well as some additions to my collection. So, this has definitely been a very interesting year for Funko because outside of everything that's going on with the management and the leadership and everything that's involved with all of that, the products themselves are still doing relatively well. There's been a lot of interesting things happening, and there's still some big surprises that Funko is sending our way. In the last couple of weeks, there have definitely been some true fan favorites that were announced. We were given teases of the brand new Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke duo pops, as well as the collection of Slapshot. Yeah, the Paul Newman Hockey Classic, and you can even get a 3-pack of the Hanson Brothers. That is actually pretty awesome. There was also a big announcement that they were going to be giving us some exclusives from C2E2 for the very first time. That is Chicago's Comic-Con. I mean, I know that Emerald City Comic-Con happened and they didn't announce anything, which was a really big surprise for me because Emerald City Comic-Con is Washington State. That's where Funko is from, and usually that is where they really like to give us some really good things as well as highlight the color green. But no, not this year. But the fact that we're going to be getting some exclusives from C2E2 was really nice. And there were some ones that I was somewhat interested in, but at the end of the day, I decided that I did not want to go after them. I loved the fact that they were giving us a very interesting Alan Scott Green Lantern that was reminiscent of the famous comic book Kingdom Come, but it just didn't look as good as I wanted it to be, which is why I decided not to. And even the Poochie from The Simpsons looked really great too, but I decided not to go after that one either. So I will not be getting any C2E2 pops this year, guys. I'm really sorry, and I'm a little upset about that because if you don't know about me, I like to try and get all the stickers. I know that there's some that I will never get, like Fugitive Toys, Gemini Collectibles, even Toy Tokyo, but I would love to have the various stickers of the cons in my collection, and I actually do have a WonderCon, I already have an LA Comic Con, I even have a Brazil Comic Con, so maybe in the coming years there will be a C2E2 reveal that I will personally want to get my hands on. But the cons aren't over, everybody. We still have San Diego Comic-Con coming up, and we still have New York Comic-Con coming up, so I'm having a strange feeling that there will be something added to my collection. But there were also some really nice things that I personally enjoyed. I love the fact that we're going to be getting a celebration of the 50th anniversary of Wolverine. There is a pop in that group that I do want to add to my collection. There were some big music ones that dropped, and as much as I would love to add them to my collection, I will just gush about them. I loved the brand new Cure Disintegration album cover, and if I didn't have my Robert Smith pop, I probably would have picked that one up, but I was glad to see that they did want to give more to The Cure and really hype up that wonderful band, and there's even rumors that there's going to be a very special 5-pack coming out in the world of Pop Rocks that I personally would like to get my hands on. Even the Avril Lavigne ones that they announced earlier this month were actually pretty great too. But I also am just glad to say, in regards to taking a look at my collection, we're going to be seeing new additions to my collection for the next couple of months. So at this point in time, I don't foresee myself saying I've run out of pops in 2024. So that means we may see another year of pop updates in 2025 over here on my channel because I am just so excited about some of the things that I've recently added to my collection. I am proud to say, with a little bit of a tease, you won't see it today, I actually managed to get my hands on my very first physical NFT pop, which made me very excited, and there's still a couple that I have in my grail list because that's pretty much what my grail list is, the NFT physicals, because there are some of them that I just wish were commons, like the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes Foghorn Leghorn pop with the Chicken Hawk. I would love to add that character to my collection. Also, the announcements of the Back to the Future ones with the 1885 doc, and they even announced a brand new line of Star Trek The Next Generation pops, and the one that I would love to have in my collection is Q, because I love that show, and John Delancey as Q is my favorite Star Trek character, especially on that show. So the fact that I could not even get this character as a common is really upsetting to me. So I'm hoping one day I will be able to manage to get those and add some additional NFT physicals to my collection, because the one that I added to my collection, the price was relatively reasonable, and there are some others that I want to add that have reasonable prices on the secondary seller's market as well. So let's go straight to see how my collection has been going. So, as I said in the introduction, even though there's craziness taking place in regards to Funko's management, they're still managing at this point in time to really satisfy the longtime Funko fans, especially when it comes to giving us certain lines that we have been waiting for. I didn't mention this in the intro, but this is pretty much in the theme. I was really surprised to see that there's going to be a Sopranos second wave. I was interested in the first wave, but in the end I decided not to add it to my collection. But if there's anything in the world of the mob, I mean, we've had the Godfather collection, which I didn't add to my collection personally, even though I love that movie. Same with The Sopranos, but when they announced that Martin Scorsese's classic, I mean the one that really put him on the map, Goodfellas from 1990, which I think is the greatest mob movie ever made, when they were finally announcing that they were going to make the pops out of the Goodfellas, I was extremely excited because I have been wanting Goodfellas pops for years because I love this movie so much. Now, this is actually 3 of a series of 4, because we obviously have the 3 main guys that we'll go into bigger detail for. But they also announced a Funko Shop exclusive of the late Paul Sorvino's character, Paulie Cicero, and I was sort of on the fence with it, and then the more I kept looking at it, he really didn't capture Paul Sorvino in pop form, and that's why I decided not to go after that one. But the 3 that I do have in my collection, they are very much as accurate as you can get to the actors that portray these characters. So let's take a look at them. I mean, we have Henry Hill, the main character of Goodfellas, played by the late Ray Liotta, and if I were to be honest, this is the one that doesn't look the most accurate at all. I mean, I still love the details. I mean, the thing that's weird about this one is I really didn't see Henry as having that lighter brown hair. I thought it was much darker, but they tried to capture the mannerisms of Ray Liotta as best as they could. I mean, I especially love the details on his outfit, especially the stripes on his shirt. That's really great. As well as the necklace all the way up there, you can see that, and then when you turn him around, even the shoes are unbelievably accurate. It's a good pop. I'm not going to deny the fact that it's a good pop. They got the back of the hair done well also, but definitely not the most accurate when it comes to trying to make a mold of the actor. But when we take a look at Jimmy Conway and Tommy DeVito, that's the legendary Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. Now I'm proud to say that I actually have these actors in my collection. I was shocked that it took me so long to get a Robert De Niro, and I didn't have any interest in the Home Alone collection, so that's why it took me so long to get Joe Pesci. But when you take a look at these pops, you know which actors these are. I mean, let's look at Joe Pesci. I mean, I love that the nose is definitely distinct. They definitely made his nose rounder. I mean, I never really paid attention to his hair, so that's the one thing that I don't want to say slips me up, but I love that he's very dynamic, especially because he's got a very interesting pose. I love the pinky ring, the long collar with the practically covering the top of the tie. That's a legendary look from the Mafia in Goodfellas. Also, the wrinkles on his face and the expression, that's Joe Pesci. I recognize Joe Pesci when I look at this pop. It's wonderful. But the Robert De Niro as Jimmy Conway, you look at this pop. Look at this face. That's Robert De Niro. End of story. You know that that is Robert De Niro. All the way down to the mole. The bags under the eyes, the wrinkles in his forehead, even the facial features that they put on here, because his eyebrows are definitely off-center. But this is Robert De Niro. I mean, again, all 3 of them, they don't look as flashy as like a DC character or a Marvel character or a cartoon character or even some of the other films that they have seen in pop form, like the Back to the Future line or the Big Lebowski. I'm going way back there. Even Lord of the Rings, and even when you take a look at some of the television shows, like the Seinfeld pops are very dynamic. You know who those characters are, but these pops still scream Goodfellas. They do. These two in particular. I mean, when you just take a look at Robert De Niro alone, that's Jimmy Conway. End of story. And once again, the slick black suit with the tie, perfect all the way down to everything. Like I said, all the way down to the mold. That's like the most distinct Robert De Niro feature. So I am so happy, after many, many years waiting for Goodfellas to become pops, and finally have them in my collection as a fan of Martin Scorsese, and as a fan of this movie, even as a fan of Good Feathers from Animaniacs. I don't think we'll ever get pops of Good Feathers, but Goodfellas, glad that they're finally here after all these years, and that patience truly is a virtue in my world. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please leave a comment in the box below. Let me know how your collection has been over the past month. Let me know if there was anything that I missed that you specifically are excited about. And if you are going to be participating in C2E2, what pops are you trying to add to your collection? So in the meantime, I will see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, feel free to leave a comment. Also, feel free to subscribe if you want to be up to date with our latest videos. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.